Welcome to Sunshine Shadow Drills for the Fall Golf Swing. My name is Ken Green, not to be confused with the five-time PGA winner, Kenneth J. Green. I have taught and coached golf for over 40 years, and I am happy to join you on your golf journey to play this challenging and wonderful game. In this video, the shadow drills will assist the golfer with two critically significant components of the swing. First, we want to define and locate the optimal backswing position, which is that we're going to turn our hips to a 45-degree angle on the backswing. That's the optimal backswing position. Secondly, we want to see, feel, and experience the aggressive starting of the forward swing from this optimal backswing position. So we start by pushing off the inside of the back foot and finish on the target side. So we're going to find the optimal backswing position and start the forward swing from that position. I think that's a go. Before I introduce the shadow drills, the following background information is important. First, a quick review of the fundamentally correct athletic position when addressing the golf ball. You can think of some sport that you may have observed or played. Maybe a linebacker in football, bend at the waist, kink the knees. Maybe in basketball in a defensive position, bend at the waist, kink the knees. And in baseball, maybe the shortstop position, bend at the waist, kink the knees. So in golf, we like to first bend at the waist and kink the knees to get into that athletic position at address. Now, I may be working with students who have little or no background in sports, or maybe starting a youth program. In that particular situation, I like to use the jump position. So I ask the students to stand with their feet shoulders width apart, close to the alignment sticks, and I just wait for them to get comfortable, and then I give them a command to jump between the sticks, and they do. So just before the golfer leaves the ground, they are in an excellent address position. So for them, I use the jump position. There are a lot of moving parts when describing the golf swing. In order to avoid confusion, I like to divide the golfer right down the sternum and divide the golfer in half. So everything on the target side is prefaced by the word target. So this is my target shoulder, this is my target hand, this is my target knee, and my target foot. So everything on the other side of my body is prefaced by the word back. Your dominant hand is your back hand, your back hip, and your back knee, and your back foot. So you do not have a right hand or left hand. You have a target hand, and you have a back hand. And lastly, I'd like to talk about the anatomical movement of the hands at the wrist. The cocking action of the target hand is pinky to thumb, pinky to thumb. That is the cocking action. When we address the golf ball in preparation for a backswing, we'll be taking the club to the vicinity of the back shoulder and create a nice 90-degree angle and fully cock the club. Now the backhand is going to be in a hinging position, like throwing sidearm or throwing the ball from second to first base. On the forward swing, uncocking of the target wrist, releasing, and the unhinging of the backhand, they both play major roles in the production of club head speed. So this is cocking and this is hinging. The setup and advantages of the Sunshine Shadow Drill. For the shadow drill, we start in the address position with the sunshine directly on your back, casting a shadow of at least 10 feet, the longer the better. Learning or reviewing a motor skill requires infinite repetitions with instant and accurate feedback. The advantage of shadow drills are invaluable because the shadow feedback is clear, it is instant, and it is accurate. Now we want to define and locate the optimal backswing position. In the address position, we're simply going to issue the command to look over your back shoulder. The important thing that the hips have turned 45 degrees. That is key. So checkpoints would be 45-degree turn, the knee is flexed, it's inside the stance, and the weight is felt on the inside of the back foot. The setup for the shadow drill, we have cast our shadow, we have a left, we have a right, and 3 alignment sticks that are parallel to this shadow. Now we're going to take a close-up look at these 3 alignment sticks. First, we want to get ourselves in a correct athletic position, address position in golf. Secondly, we want to find where our back hip bone is closest to the surface of the skin. I'm using my backhand to touch my back hip bone. That would be roughly about 2 or 3 inches below your belt line. So in the address position, we want to shift ourselves so that we are on the middle alignment stick, and we are want to making sure that if we move from this direction, we're in the address position, and we have our back hip bone in the address position on the middle alignment stick. I think that's. Now I want to introduce the helicopter drill. In the address position, you're simply going to turn your back to the target. The lower body is going to react to upper body turn. That's the sequence of the backswing. Upper body leads, lower body follows. We pay attention to now the hip shadow moving from the middle alignment stick to the pink alignment stick, or the left one, and that gives you a picture of the swing going from address position to the optimal backswing position. Now we're going to take a look at a close-up to get a better view of the hips moving from the middle alignment stick to the pink alignment stick. So we're going from the address position, starting at the middle alignment stick, to the optimal backswing position to the pink. We go from the alignment stick to the pink. So you might think that the hips are sliding toward the target. They are not doing that. Simply, they are moving from the widest position to a narrow position. So we do not hip slide, we have hip turn. So we want to do the reps to get a feel of that move from white to pink, and that moves from the address position to the optimal backswing position. Yeah, I think that's good. Now we need to focus on controlling the center of our golf swing. The golf swing is much like a wheel. It has a spoke and a rim attached to its axle. The center of the axle of the golf swing is just below your Adam's apple. So we are going to go to the helicopter drill. We're simply going to turn our back to the target, and I have a hat sticking on the top of my head shadow, and we want to do the very best we can to make a nice, effective turn to the optimal backswing position and see if we can keep that hat perched on top of my head. So do the reps watching both the shadow of the hips and the head shadow with the hat on top of it. What happens if we sway? Well, obviously, we have compromised our ability to hit a good shot. So do the reps following the shadow turning from the white to pink, and do the very best you can to keep the hat on top of your head shadow. Now we want to further explain the forward swing. I think I can comfortably make these following statements. If you're going to move from point A to point B, walking or running, you push off the inside of your back foot. If you're going to throw a ball from the outfield to the infield, you push off the inside of the back foot. If you're going to dig in to the batter's box waiting for a pitch, you're going to push off the inside of the back foot. And yes, if you're going to start your golf swing from the optimal backswing position, you're going to push off the inside of the back foot. So it's very critical for you to understand that it's important to get into that optimal backswing position. Now we're going to define more clearly the dynamic move of the back hip turn to the target side. So when we turn our shoulders, the hips are going to move 45 degrees. This is a very dynamic and quick move to shift the weight from the backside to the side 45 degrees to 45 degrees. This is almost as quick as you snap your fingers. Very aggressive, very quick. And so this is the move from the optimal backswing position. You can use the shadow drill to reinforce this. Helicopter drill, you turn your back to the target and you push off the inside of your back foot and you clear your hips to 45 degrees on the forward swing. So it's very important for you to do the drills to get the feel and the experience. Now I want to introduce the whoosh drill. I like to use a prop that is a little bit heavier than the driver. It helps slow down the swing and gives you a better feel. We'll still use our shadow drills, and we wanted to review the backswing. The upper body leads, lower body follows, and on the forward swing, the lower body is going to lead in the optimal backswing position, and the upper body is going to follow. It's important for the hips to move from a 45-degree angle on the backswing to a 45-degree angle on the forward swing. And so we want to make sure we're going to sync out two things. The whooshing sound of the club, it whistles through the air, and the other is, when do the hips move from the optimal backswing position to a 45-degree on the target side? So you can see it's going to be hips whoosh. And I can do this in slow motion, hips whoosh. So what happens if you don't turn your hips? You're going to find out that it's going to be whoosh hips. If you fail to keep the back leg flexed and you have a straight leg, you're going to have whoosh hips. And of course, if you sway, you're going to have whoosh hips. So it's important for us to practice these drills maybe correctly and incorrectly. And sometimes it's helpful to swing the club incorrectly, because I say in my instruction that if you can't feel the difference, you can't control the difference. So swinging the club incorrectly oftentimes is beneficial. So eventually we're going to swing the club correctly. We're going to push off the inside of the back foot, and we have hips whoosh. So the lesson here is, from the optimal backswing position, lead with the hips, and you have hips whoosh. I am confident that the Sunshine Shadow drills will be helpful in the development of your golf swing. Sequencing all the moving components of a repeated swing is a never-ending challenge that is unique to golf. Simply stated, the golf ball will get hit because it is in the way of your swing. So, we want you to be patient, do your reps, practice with attention and intention, and most of all, enjoy the journey. And thanks for watching.